Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today we are going to focus on types of international conflict. Basically, we have two types of international conflict: tangible conflicts and less tangible or intangible conflicts. Right? Tangible or material conflicts are those conflicts over that happen over tangible material interests, like, for example, over territory. We have territorial disputes. Example, territorial dispute between Egypt and Sudan over Halab, for example, or territorial dispute between Kuwait and Iraq before 1991, right? And we've got also economic conflicts over trade, over natural resources. Example, we've got now an ongoing conflict in the Mediterranean region over natural gas between many states, basically between Turkey on the one hand, Egypt, Greece, Israel on the other hand. The second type of conflict, of international conflicts, are less tangible, or they are not material, non-material conflicts. So we are talking about clashes of ideas. So conflict or struggle over ideas. For example, we've got ethnic conflict. So here the conflict is not over material stuff, it is over ethnicity. Who should prevail? This ethnic group or that ethnic group, or over religion. So we have religious conflict, like, for example, the religious wars in Europe in the mid-ages, in the Middle Ages. And we've got also conflicts over ideology, like the Cold War. It was basically a conflict over ideologies between capitalism on the one hand and socialism on the other hand. But you know what? The two types of international conflict, tangible and intangible conflicts, overlap in practice. This means that if you have, we can have, in the most cases, a specific conflict, or a specific conflict includes both tangible and intangible features. Take, for example, the Arab-Israeli conflict. It includes both tangible and intangible features. It is over territory, right? Israel is occupying Palestinian territories and is occupying the Golan Heights and parts of Lebanon and parts of Lebanese territory. So it is over territory. And it is over also economic resources, water. And it is over ideas. Arabism or Arab nationalism and Zionism. And it is over religion, Islam and Judaism. So, and it is over also nationality. So the Arab-Israeli conflict includes both tangible and intangible features. You have to put into consideration that most difficult types of conflict have intangible elements, such as ethnic hatred, religious conflict, ideological conflict. So most difficult types of conflict nowadays include some sort of conflicts over ideas or conflicts of ideas. I just gave you an example of the Arab-Israeli conflict. These identity-based sources of national conflict today have been shaped historically by nationalism. Nationalism refers to the link between identity and internationally recognized statehood, right? International conflicts can be also classified into conflicts of ideas. So we are talking about intangible conflicts or non-material kinds of conflicts, and conflicts of interests or conflict or tangible conflicts. Let's focus here on tangible conflicts. These conflicts are over material interests, material stuff. We are talking about conflicts over territory, like territorial border disputes, like secession attempts or secessionism. For example, here, Iraqi Kurdistan or the Iraqi Kurds are attempting to secede or separate from Iraq and establish their own independent Kurdish state. The same applies to the Catalan in Catalonia of Spain. The Catalans in Spain are trying to secede from Spain and establish their own independent state of Catalonia. Also, tangible conflicts include economic conflicts over trade, China and the United States, over money, over natural resources. The conflict that is going on right now in the Mediterranean area over natural gas, over drug trafficking. We are talking here about mafia and the other economic transactions, right? Over investment. But do you know what? Among tangible interests, tangible conflicts, territorial disputes have special importance. So tangible interests may be territorial disputes, may be economic conflicts, may be secessionism or separation. Tangible conflicts may be economic conflicts over, a host kinds of economic transactions. But among all tangible interests, territorial disputes have special importance because of what? Because of the territorial nature of the state. Each state is defined by its territory. Without a territory, no state. You cannot imagine a state without a territory, a piece of land, right? These conflicts tend to be among the most difficult in international relations. We've got a territorial dispute between Egypt and Sudan, and it is negatively affecting, the whole relationship between Egypt and Sudan. And it's so difficult to get resolved. Why they are the most difficult to be resolved in international relations? Well, because territories are valued far beyond any inherent economic or strategic value they hold. I mean, in 1988, Egypt restored or got back Taba, right? But you know what? Most of Taba were just, desert, or was desert, or is desert. But why Egypt insisted to retain Taba? Because of this fact. Territories are valued far beyond uh, their economic or strategic value. The territory of the state is a symbol of national pride. We are not giving up a piece of our territory to an invader, right? We will defend all of our territory, even by even if we had to sacrifice our souls, right? Even though we've got a reduction in the inherent value of territory. I mean, see, it is valued, or the territory of the state is valued because it is a symbol of national pride, not because of its strategic or economic significance. And nowadays we have a reduction even in the inherent value of territory as in terms of strategic value because of the development of technology. Now mountains or high mountains cannot defend you anymore because development of sophisticated weapons and air uh, force, right? And the rise of globalization actually bypassed the borders between states. So all kinds of global transactions don't pay any attention to the borders or boundaries between states. They are called national movements. So they bypass, they ignore the borders between states. However, the value states place on home territory seems undiminished, seems not decreased. Why? Because one more time, the territory of the state is a symbol of national pride. National pride. There are many kinds of means to control territory, most importantly, military means. Military force has been the most effective means for controlling uh, territory. There has been a strong, but there has been a strong norm in the international system that developed after the Second World War against trying to alter borders by force. I mean, it is prohibited according to the rules of the current international system, according to the rules of international law, to try to alter borders by force against any kind of invasion, military invasion of other states. The use of force, of military force, is prohibited by the UN Charter. Anyway, we've got at least four types of territorial disputes. Border disputes, and those are the most common territorial disputes, border disputes between states. We've got, hundreds of territorial disputes between, for example, African states. And we've got many border disputes between Arab countries, between Yemen and Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Iraq, Lebanon and Syria, Egypt and Sudan, Egypt and Libya, Libya and Algeria, Mauritania and Morocco, Morocco and Algeria. So we've got many border disputes in the Arab world or in Africa. Border disputes also include secessionist movements or secessionism, as I just referred to the Kurdish case in Turkey or in Iraq. The Kurds want to secede from Turkey and establish their own state, and from Iraq and establish their own Kurdish state with the Catalans in Spain. Disputed islands. We've got disputed islands between Japan and Russia. And most importantly, in the Arab world, we've got 3 disputed islands between the United Arab Emirates and Iran, the Greater Tom, the Lesser Tom, and Abu Musa. And also we have disputes over territorial waters between states and over national airspace or outer space. But you know what? Efforts of resolving territorial disputes using military force have mostly failed. I'll give you an example. There was a territorial dispute or border dispute between Iraq and Kuwait, and Iraq tried to solve it by using military force. Failed, right? Other attempts to solve territorial disputes by military force mostly failed. Instead, many disputes have been resolved peacefully. For example, the territorial dispute between the United Arab Emirates and Oman was resolved peacefully. And the territorial dispute between Oman and Saudi Arabia also peacefully resolved. And this is what I just mentioned, the dispute over the 3 islands in the Arabian Gulf between the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran, the Greater Tom, Lesser Tom, and Abu Musa. I gave you some background of the dispute because I mean the dispute is one of the longest territorial disputes in the world because it started in November 1971, even before the establishment of the United Arab Emirates. And give some information about the dispute just for you to read. Among the most difficult territorial disputes, we have a special type called lingering disputes. Lingering disputes refer to territorial disputes that persist, that last for a long time, and are considered important sources of international conflict. We've got many lingering or disputes around the world. For example, the borders of Israel consists a lingering dispute between Israel and its Arab neighbors since 1948 or so. We've got also a lingering dispute in uh, the Indian subcontinent between India and Pakistan over Kashmir, right? I mean, it started like more than 60 years ago, and it threatened several times, and it caused actually uh, clashes and wars between Pakistan and Kashmir and India in 1947 and in 1965. And the two countries actually were near, we're about to get involved in war in 2002. But why they didn't? Because of nuclear deterrence. Now Pakistan and India have nuclear weapons, and the stakes in the dispute are high now because because of the destructive results of using nuclear weapons. So I mean, a total war between Pakistan and India is not possible, is not likely in the foreseen future over Kashmir. And this is the Kashmir here. I just provided you with some information on the dispute between India and Pakistan over Kashmir to appreciate what I'm saying about lingering conflict. Now to secession. Secession, we are talking here about attempts by a province or a region within a state to secede from an existing state. This is a special type of conflict over borders. A subnational entity like Iraqi Kurdistan, like Tibet, like Catalonia, like Chechnya, like Tatarstan in Russia, seeks to draw international borders around itself as a new state, right? Dozens of secession movements exist around the world. I just gave you an example, and those are the examples here. But you know what? It is rare that a secession movement succeed. I mean, the normal case that secession movement does not succeed or doesn't achieve, considerable success in its attempt to establish an independent state. We've got, yes, few examples of successful secession movements, like in East Timor in 2003. East Timor separated or seceded from Indonesia. Kosovo in 2008 from Serbia. South Sudan in 2011 from Sudan. Secession movements are treated as domestic problems within a nation state. It is, the secession movement in Catalonia or in the Basque County in Spain are treated as domestic problems in Spain. So the principle of non-intervention is applied here. So other states must refrain from interfering in uh, in this issue. The territorial integrity of states is protected by international law. Why states or foreign states must refrain from intervention? Because, well, the territorial integrity of the state is protected by international law, right? And because of uh, that fundamental principles in international law and international system, which is, non-intervention. So this is the first kinds of tangible interests, territorial disputes. Next time we'll talk about economic conflicts, and then we will handle the less tangible or intangible conflicts over ideas, uh, like over national identity, over ideology, over religion, and so on. Thank you for your listening.